Hello everyone and welcome back. Got a really exciting fixture here between England and Ireland. Thank you all for joining us. We're hoping that our connection and our audio and video is loud and clear for you all to see and hear as these two battle out. To run you through the England team, we've got Greg Baxter starting in goal, Kyle Alexander just in front. That Sevenoaks pair going to want to make an impact on the international stage. And they've got wingers either side of them of Dan Rigby and Lewis Harris. On the bench they've got Patrick Kelly, Tom Kelly and Dylan Kelsall. Worth noting that on the coaching setup of England, they've got England senior international Chris Gordon and Adam McAvoy, National Development Manager of the Wheelchair Football Association. To run you through Ireland's side, we've got Matthew Crowley, number 10, in the goalkeeper jersey. We've got Sean Cuddy, number 3, Dylan McLaughlin, number 7, and number 11, Fionn Olongig. Run you through the subs. They've got Lucas Gorman, Tommy Thornton and Isaiah O'Driscoll on the bench. In a really exciting opening fixture between Northern Ireland and Scotland. Hoping for more of the same here. So the teams just prepare to do the official walk to the centre circle. Will be shortly underway. As was mentioned earlier, this is the first in a series of 2 EPFA Home Nation events. This one, this weekend in Belfast, sees development sides from England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Ireland compete to be Home Nations champions. So more development players looking to force a way into their senior sides. And the weekend of May 7th and 8th we'll see the senior sides of these respective nations compete to become Home Nation champions. So plenty of events, plenty of international fixtures, trying to catch up on all the time we missed over the last 2-3 years through the pandemic. But once again, thank you all for joining us. As you're seeing, the teams just set themselves up with the nation flags draped above them. This EPFA Home Nations Cup is sanctioned by our world governing body FIFA and proudly supported by Power Soccer Shop. You won't be able to see it from the stream, but full credit to the travelling fans of all nations competing here this weekend, especially to the Irish contingent on our far left. Here they come, ready for their first fixture in this EPFA Home Nations Cup. A roar of applause from behind us. It looks like we're going to have England on the right hand side and Ireland to the left. A proud moment for all these players. All dreamed of representing their nation. So we just get the official handshakes and we off and running in this EPFA Home Nations Cup fixture between England and Ireland. I'm now delighted to be joined once again by Mr. Brian Dix. How are you, sir?
I am very well, thank you. Very much looking forward to this exciting game. Brings two enemies, England versus Ireland.
Yep, the last time the two sides met would have been in the EPFA Nations Cup in Finland in 2019, which England went on to become European champions in. Ireland, I think, placed third, so to give some perspective, they're a very capable side, and if this development squad is a representation of the senior, we should hopefully see a lot of positive stuff from them this weekend.
A very new referee on this one as well. Scott taking the centre. With a bit of experience in the line. I think Martin might be taking the line. He might need a hot drink after this game.
To run you through that England side again, starting for us here today, we've got Greg Baxter in goal. Just in front of him we've got Kyle Alexander with Dan Rigby and Lewis Harris occupying winger positions. Patrick Kelly, Tom Kelly, Dylan Kelso on the bench. And that Ireland side, Matthew Crowley in goal, Sean Cuddy, Dylan McLaughlin and Fionn O'Longig, with substitutions of Gorman, Thornton and O'Driscoll. Final team talks, preparations. I'm sure we're going to see plenty of goals in this game. But thank you all for joining us, wherever you are based in these home nations or wider afield. We thank you for your support and hope you can hear us loud and clear. Very interesting question. It's worth noting for the wider viewers that Greg Baxter, number 6, and Kyle Alexander, number 8, have both represented the England senior side. Greg at the most recent EPFA Nations Cup in Finland, where they were victorious in that quest to become European champions. And Kyle Alexander in 2017, where he was picked by Colin Gordon to represent England at the Florida Fit for World Cup. So they're two to obviously keep an eye on, but having had a lot of talent and exposure to the talent pathway within England, I know all of these players are really exciting. Definitely be worth watching number 22 Dan Rigby, who was recently included in the England senior side training camp, but all play at the top level in England. So all will want to perform and hopefully force Colin Gordon's hand to include him in his plans for the Fit for World Cup next year in Sydney. If the development side here this weekend is a representation of the senior side, they should be very capable. The senior side currently ranked 5th in the world, I believe, Ireland, so they'll want to keep an eye on these development players to figure out the next getting our final preparations. We apologise for any delay, a few technical difficulties. has meant there's a little bit of a knock-on effect, but we should be kicking off shortly. Very experienced coaching setup for England, both of which coach teams in the Muscular Dystrophy UK Premiership in England. Chris Brommer, player and coach for West Bromwich Albion, current champions, and Adam McAvoy, Sevenoaks Power Chair Football Club. I'll be a bit more positive and say that these streams and setups wouldn't be possible without Mr. Alex Dowding, so I want to extend a huge thank you to him and his hard work. Looks like they're going to switch sides, and Ireland are going to be kicking off from the right hand side, England on the left, as you see it on the stream. The referee flips the coin, and it looks like it's gone in favour of Ireland. Who will take the kick-off. Only seconds away now from this fixture between England and Ireland in the EPFA Home Nations Cup, sanctioned by EPFA and proudly supported by Power Soccer Shop. Matthew Crowley with the kick-off. He's got McLaughlin to his left and O'Longig to his right. And we're underway. Crowley with the kick in. Tries to advance down the pitch, but Kyle Alexander meets it. And O'Longig can't. Lets that go out of play. Crowley comes over to take. Kyle Alexander does well to cut it out. Harris's first involvement. Picks out Dan Rigby on this far right hand side. Kyle Alexander back, tries to find Rigby again, but is unlucky. If that first 15-20 seconds is a representation of England in this tournament, they're going to be looking to play fast, dynamic football, similar to that of the England senior side. Sean Cuddy with the goal kick, met by Kyle Alexander, who finds Rigby. Crowley here to pick it off, and McLaughlin unfortunately can't pick out O'Longig on the far right hand side, and Harris sees it, tries to see it over to Alexander, but McLaughlin done well with the two early involvements. Again there to cut it out. Can he find a way past Alexander? He can't, unfortunately, and he's a bit too forceful in that. An interesting... Yeah, I saw it the other way, but the referees awarded that in the way of Ireland. Absolutely. McLaughlin with the kick in. Crowley just in front of him. Does extremely well there to find it over to the back post where Longig is, but Baxter is calm in alleviating pressure in that England half, and it goes out for an England kick in. Positive signs from Ireland here as well. Alongi does well there to see off the challenge from Alexander. Goes out for that England kick in that Alexander will come over to take. He'll want to advance it up to Harrison Rigby. Alexander to Rigby, back to Alexander. Just invites that pressure from Ireland, not dealing with it, and a bit of miscommunication with Baxter. Allows McLaughlin at the back post to try and force an opening. Baxter does well, couldn't get the angle on it, and Rigby comes to advance the ball up the pitch. Dylan McLaughlin does well to block off Dan Rigby. It's like a game of chess here, and Dan Rigby does well to advance. He's got Lewis Harris to his left, but Crowley will try and block that, and he does so. Still with Rigby. It's in an awkward bit of space now where Lewis Harris will try and pick one of these players out, but Crowley does well to cut out the danger. Alexander tries to find Rigby at this far post, and he squeezes it to the back post where Lewis Harris meets it, and it's done extremely well there. Lewis Harris with the opening goal for England. Dan Rigby working the ball over to him, the far left hand side, and that's 1-0 England. Yep, Ireland will probably look to ways to slow this game down, halt the pressure from England. That'll be their best chance of forcing openings and mistakes. It's Crowley with the kick-off. He's going to meet it again. Crowley to McLaughlin. And Harris. Sean Cuddy here, just trying to limit the options for Lewis Harris. Does well. A long gig. He's going to try and advance past Alexander, but the experience. Crowley up to Olongig. Baxter. McLaughlin needs to wrap his chair round to prevent Kyle Alexander from picking out Dan Rigby on this far right hand side. And it goes in the way of Ireland. Dylan McLaughlin with the kick in. Drives it down the line, but Dan Rigby's there to meet it.
I mean, even though that's called a development side, you've got to remember that Dylan McLaughlin has been playing Powerchair football for 8 or 9 years now.
Yeah. That's the really good thing about these tournaments. It gives opportunities for more developmental players. The opportunity to represent their country, probably the highest honour and accolade in Powerchair football. As he continues to battle Alexander. But Crowley will try and prevent that from happening. Crowley advances. He's got a long gig.
Couldn't quite find the pass.
To his right. It's well set up from England as Baxter advances. Dan Rigby has to be careful about his positioning. And the ball was trapped between McLaughlin and Baxter's chair. The ball has to be rolling, otherwise play will resume from a set ball. Harris and McLaughlin will take.
Very gently done.
As advised by the referee, the players abide and play continues between these two players. Goes out for an Ireland kick in despite Lewis Harris's claims. Alexander drives it to the right hand wing, but it's well met by Dylan McLaughlin. Alexander to take. He's got Lewis Harris down to his right and Dan Rigby in a more central position in the box. Alexander would have wanted a bit more pace on that ball. He allowed that pressure from McLaughlin. Just comes off the front of McLaughlin's chair. England pressure continues. Alexander back to Baxter. A long intercept, but Baxter will try and recycle that over to Harris. Unfortunately, this deflection took it into the path of Sean Cuddy in the Ireland goal. Well defended by Crowley there, limiting Lewis Harris's options. England will want to work the ball and get Dan Rigby more involved in this game. As Harris drives it into the chairs of Cuddy and Crowley. And eventually goes out for an England kick in. Alexander to Harris. Harris tries to find Alexander, but the space is limited superbly by Dylan McLaughlin, who advances up the pitch. It's well worked, and that goes out for an Ireland kick-in.
Ireland not being overwhelmed by this strong English team so far.
You can't afford to be. You need to meet fire with fire sometimes, and they're doing that job superbly well so far, despite the 1-0 deficit. Pick out Crowley in the middle. Baxter and Harris resolute in their defensive duties. Harris advances. McLaughlin's challenges. He's going to try and pick out one of his England teammates. He's got Alexander on the edge of the box, who he finds. A little bit of a deflection. Referee just consulting his linesman.
I think he's given a 2-on-1 to England.
Without the signal from the referee, unaware of what he's given. So yep, as confirmed, 2-on-1 infringement in favour of England. And they'll be looking to extend double their lead here. Harris drives it through. Sean Cuddy does well to see it off the goal line for Ireland. Looks like we're getting a substitution for England. As Dan Rigby leaves the field of play in place of Dylan Kelsall, who represents St George's Knights in England. Great to see him representing England. at this developmental stage. England have struggled to involve Dan Rigby in this half, and they'll want to try and get Kelsall involved immediately as Lewis Harris tries to drive the ball over to him. But Olongig does well. Goes out for an England kick in. There's certainly no pushovers, Ireland. They're certainly up for the challenge.
Definitely, at the moment they're playing some good football. Haven't quite got the passing game like England have maybe, but they've certainly got the energy.
As I said earlier, if they can kind of fragment this game and break it down, make it a bit slower, decrease the pace of the ball, of the general play, it will frustrate England.
Definitely.
And bar that early goal, they haven't worked any clear-cut opportunities. And we've seen an unfortunate deflection there off McLaughlin's chair, but Sean Cuddy does well to intercept.
Well defended Ireland there.
Yep, superbly well. Sean Cuddy had to be alert on that goal line, and that unfortunate deflection off Dylan McLaughlin's chair would have been an unfortunate way to go 2-0 down.
Yeah, definitely.
But it remains 1-0. Just that early goal from Lewis Harris. As Alexander comes in for the kick in on the far left hand side on the centre line. Harris meets it. And there's a mix up between Baxter and Alexander there. Frustration showing from Baxter.
Well done, McLaughlin, just letting the McLaughlin act.
McLaughlin did extremely well there to pounce on the mistake and the miscommunication between the pair. And that's what they'll want to do, frustrate them, exploit any errors in that England defence.
Not enough power on the ball there from Cowley.
And we've got Harris in an advanced position, has an audacious go at goal, but Cuddy meets it. McLaughlin's going to want to deal with this now because Alexander has the options of Harris to his left and Kelsall to his right.
And Baxter pushing up over the halfway line as well.
It's the 4-out way. That England senior side love to adopt. It's Baxter. Alexander advances. Baxter has just switched with Dylan Kelsall, who occupies the most defensive role for England, and it looks like they're just going to rotate again. It's a trademark for England. Their players are not fixed to any one position. They're given the freedom and flexibility to roam. Harris. He's going to want to find Alexander here, maybe to the back post where Kelsall is, but he's gone for a goal straight away. Superb goal by Kyle Alexander there. He was under a little bit of pressure.
Yeah.
They needed that.
Two good strikes of the ball in the back of the net. I think not enough movement on the goal line by the goalkeeper. He was very static there, he didn't move at all. Mind you, the ball was hit very well.
So England 2, Ireland 0. Goals from Lewis Harris and Kyle Alexander. McLaughlin does extremely well there again. Crowley's going to want to deal with this, because if he doesn't, there's the space for Harris to advance on that left hand side. McLaughlin. It's 2-on-1 infringement. That was McLaughlin and Crowley encroaching too close to Lewis Harris with the ball, and it will result in an England free kick.
Referee just letting Martin know that it was a 2-on-1 he gave, not a free kick, not a goal, not a kick in on the goal line.
Hear the instructions from Chris Gordon in that coaching box of England. He's going to want to put a bit more pace and accuracy on them passes. That's when it's allowed the pressure to mount from Ireland. As Baxter does well in the end.
Got to pull it back.
Can he pick out one of his teammates? Alexander or Kelsall, the most advanced.
Can he flick it back?
Crowley does well just to get
Well
a little
flick.
nick.
Can he pick a Kelsall? That's what he's looking at.
Kelsall back to Alexander. Alexander,
missed
miss kick
timing.
has allowed Crowley the opportunity to get in. Cam McLaughlin, unfortunately, a 2-on-1 infringement. Two of the Ireland players getting too close in that counter attack, and that's a let off there.
Referee's been very strong in this half.
Correct decision. I think a few of the Ireland players may have got a bit carried away with that counter attack. That was an opportunity, and too many players advanced
Yep.
to see that attack come to some sort of fruition. But it remains 2-0 as Baxter finds Alexander. Crowley deals with the initial danger. And it's just nicked off the front of Crowley's chair to go out for an England kick in. But certainly far from routine for England in this first half. Baxter over to Kelsall, who nicks it onto Lewis Harris at the back post, but Crowley intercepts well. And McLaughlin, who's been a very bright player in this Irish side, does extremely well. So we're getting our second substitution of the game for England as Lewis Harris, goal scorer, leads the field of play. And we're going to be joined by Manchester United, Patrick Kelly. Huge congratulations to him for his call-up. Can he have an impact in these final few seconds of this first half between England and Ireland? Baxter just patiently waiting for Crowley to show his hand.
Oh, well played Crowley.
Yeah.
Took his time, very patient. Played the top off the Baxter's chair to give himself the kick.
Really intrigued to see how this Ireland side fares against Northern Ireland and Scotland this evening and tomorrow.
I don't think Ireland's actually doing anything wrong at the moment, just can't get that last final pass in the England half to go where it should be.
No, they've done extremely well to frustrate England in that first half as it draws to a close. 2-0 England, but as we said within that interval, it was far from routine.
Yeah.
Far from routine. They worked the ball well for that opening goal. The pressure was... They mounted the pressure early and secured an early lead.
Yep.
But from that, there was a few opportunities for Ireland to get back in the game, and a Baxter-Alexander mistake in that defensive line for England almost allowed Ireland that opportunity to equalise, but Alexander, with a second for England, gave them that little bit of comfort. Be interesting to see what system they adopt in the second half, and if Ireland can do anything to deal with England's attacks. Join us in the second half for England versus Ireland in the EPFA Home Nations Cup. Hello everyone, welcome back to this EPFA Home Nations Cup fixture between England and Ireland. England currently lead Ireland by 2-0. An early opening by Lewis Harris, followed in shortly after by Kyle Alexander. Positive display from Ireland though. Looks like we've had some adjustments at the half-time interval from England. It's Kyle Alexander comes off the field of play in place of Dan Rigby. Interesting to see what system they adopt here.
So could we had a lost fourth official then?
Dan Rigby is going to be taking up a more central role in this second half. Interesting to see if he can influence it and make an impact. Worth noting again that Dan was a recent inclusion in the England senior side training camp, so we'll be hoping for a spot on the plane to Sydney next year, as will all these other players in the England and Ireland sides respectively, as both nations have qualified for the Fit for World Cup set to take place in Sydney October 2023. It's well worked by Matthew Crowley early in this second half. It really unfortunate, couldn't wrap his chair around the ball, but some early danger signs for England. Really positive from Ireland from the get-go. They've obviously had their instructions drilled into them by their coaching setup of Ian Lamkin and Kevin Gannon to maybe get a goal back as early as possible. Baxter. Olongi unfortunately couldn't get the connection, otherwise it could have been a real opportunity for Ireland there. We apologise. Dylan Kelsall with the kick in. Dan Rigby just to his right. Baxter as well. He finds Baxter. Advances it up to Rigby, who can try and work an opportunity for England, but Matthew Crowley does well initially, but he's aggressive in his attack. Rigby's going to try and find it over to Pat Kelly on this right hand side. We want to keep Sean Cuddy, sees it off the line. Kelsall back to Rigby, can't find the accuracy on the pass, but Crowley's miss kick allows that pressure to maintain from England. And it looks like McLaughlin and Crowley encroached on the England players. It's a 2-on-1 infringement.
Didn't quite see that one, to be fair. I think it might have taken the Irish by surprise a little bit.
Bit of communication between Rigby, Kelsall and Kelly. They've got a nice little system going. He tries to drill it over to Kelly and tries to find Kelsall, but McLaughlin does well to relieve the pressure off the Ireland defence initially. But Rigby will look to work the opportunity and find one of his wingers. It's that miscommunication again between that pivot in the England half. Baxter didn't know that Olongig was behind him, and they find Olongig, as unfortunately just needed that rotation of his chair.
Oh, well played by Crowley there. Well played.
There's some real quality in this Ireland side, considering the level that this England team are and the level these respective players compete at. They should be extremely happy with their performance so far, keeping some of England's best players relatively at bay, as Kelly is now going to have an opportunity. Unfortunately couldn't find the timing.
Just run out of room. Do you remember a young Crowley at our summer festival one summer?
I do indeed. I remember having 2 Irish contingent there.
Him and
It's Kelsall back post. It's well defended by Ireland. Dan Rigby maintains the pressure. Kelsall can't do much with the opportunity, and it goes out for an Ireland goal kick. Sorry to interrupt you, Brian, but yep, I remember Matthew Crowley and a certain Liam Lynch, who will be representing the Ireland senior side at our EPFA Home Nations Invitational in May. So I'll be looking forward to see how he's developed over the last 2-3 years.
Haven't they both grown up? It's crazy.
They have. Cuddy can't see it past Rigby, but McLaughlin does well.
Well played, McLaughlin. Well swept up.
He's been a bright spark in this Ireland side, McLaughlin. Referee just allows that advantage to go on. Then Irish players were close together. Kelsall with the kick in. Rigby just instructing him how he would want the ball received. And Kelsall communicating with Kelly on this far left hand side. Well worked opportunity there. Unfortunately, the timing was just off, otherwise that would have been an extremely well worked set piece from England.
Yeah, obviously the reverse spin, the hardest one to try.
Kelsall back to Rigby. Rigby to Kelly. Back to Rigby. Back to Kelly. Unfortunately can't find the pass. So far in this game, when Ireland have been on the back foot, their best bet is going for an attack. Just to halt the progress and momentum of England. But Kelly's going to try and work the ball over to Kelsall, but a 2-on-1 infringement in favour of Ireland gives them a little bit of respite.
Who's so far standing out for you in the Irish side so far, Ryan?
As mentioned earlier, Crowley's probably the most active in that Ireland side, playing that central pivot role. But Dylan McLaughlin has been key to a lot of defensive work of Ireland. So he's the one that's caught the eye the most for me. Looks like we're going to get a substitution for Ireland as O'Longig leaves the field of play. And we're delighted to be joined by Lucas Gorman. It's a chance here for Ireland to just try and work the ball past.
Well played, referee. Not quite sure who the 2-on-1 is against, but
Be interesting to see what Lucas Gorman can do. Can he have an impact on this Ireland side? At only 2-0. A goal for an Ireland would open up this game, but Dylan Kelsall is going to want to use McLaughlin's chair against him, advance up the field of play. McLaughlin does well to come away with it. Baxter does well to find Kelsall. Can't find the accuracy on the pass to pick out Patrick Kelly on the far right hand side, and it rolls out for an Ireland kick in. Dylan McLaughlin cut out by Patrick Kelly, who find Dylan Kelsall put really well. Can Kelly get the connection to see it and advance it goal bound? He can't, unfortunately, but Kelsall's still there.
Kelsall has an extremely good spot kick, doesn't he? He hits the ball so cleanly.
Very patient. He's done well to work Rigby. Rigby would have wanted a better pass there to
Yeah.
one of his teammates. He drilled it into the chair of Dylan McLaughlin.
Gets the kick in.
No real danger in that chance. A little bit of communication in the England side just to set themselves up for this set piece. As Baxter will try and pick out Kelly. As Crowley unfortunately can't find Gorman, and
No
it goes
direction.
back into the possession of England, and Gorman has a nice interception. As it looks like we're getting our second substitution. Set of substitutions, sorry, this second half. And it looks like Tom Kelly is going to come on in place of Greg Baxter. Huge congratulations to Tom Kelly. First time representing an England side. And Kyle Alexander has come on in the place of Dan Rigby. So we've got a pivot of Tom Kelly and Kyle Alexander, with wingers of Dylan Kelsall and Patrick Kelly. As Alexander's involved straight from his reintroduction to this game. Scorer of the second goal. Can he extend the margin of England's current scoreline? It's a superb worked ball from Patrick Kelly there, but Kyle Alexander just short of connection. Sean Cuddy with the Ireland goal kick into Dylan McLaughlin, met by Kyle Alexander. He's got Gorman to his left, who needs to advance up the pitch, has to not allow a 2-on-1. Referee just allows that to continue.
So that was good refereeing. I mean, the winger wasn't trying to be involved in the play. He was trying to get out of the way.
No,
I think more referees, if they can adopt that little approach, would be great for the game.
it's just if you can give that advantage to the attacking team, even if there is a 2-on-1 infringement.
Yeah. It obviously wasn't, and obviously the ball bounced out to him, that'd be different, but it wasn't.
McLaughlin to Crowley, tries to force it past Alexander, but he's in Kelly's chair, well positioned to prevent any real chance from Ireland there.
Alexander
Maintains pressure, and that did come off the front of Matthew Crowley's chair, and it goes out for an England kick in. Fairly penned in here, England. Ireland will want to capitalise on any misplaced passes or kicks. Still only 2-0. Finally balanced. If Ireland can work an opportunity, maybe get a goal back.
Be good for the game if they did.
Good communication from the referee there. It's a patient play from both sides, but it looks like England have come out the better, and they've got to be aware of this now. McLaughlin comes over to shield the ball from Kyle Alexander. He's done well. He's done
well
very
played.
well there.
Well played.
Crowley over to Gorman. He finds McLaughlin in the back post. Can't get the accuracy on the shot, but really positive signs there from the Ireland side. One of Gorman's first involvements. Picked out a beautiful pass. Unfortunately, Dylan McLaughlin couldn't quite find the accuracy. It remains England 2, Ireland 0. Tom Kelly with the goal kick. Finds Alexander. But Crowley intercepts. Got 2-on-1 infringement. The referee's signalling in favour of England, sorry. Which Tom Kelly will take. Kelly to Alexander. Can't get the control on his chair. It goes out for an Ireland kick in. So Crowley just in front. Lucas Gorman at the back post. Can he pick out either one of them? Goes for the option of Crowley, who tries to see it over to Gorman. Couldn't quite get a good enough angle. Alexander there to thwart the initial danger. Well played by Ireland. Still very finely balanced. I wonder if Ireland will utilise their 2 unused substitutions in Isaiah O'Driscoll and Tommy Thornton.
I think as part of this development day, I think we'll see all players on the pitch at some time.
Just about 5 minutes left to play. Ireland have an opportunity to work it here. Referee allows that to continue, and Ireland still have that chance. Gorman does well again to pick that ball off to try and find Crowley, but Kelly cuts out the initial danger, and he's found Kelsey now in a world of space. Can he do something with it? Once again, Dylan McLaughlin, key to all of the defensive work of Ireland in this second half. Does well to cut out the danger. Kelsall finds Alexander. Cuddy meets the ball. Second goal by Alexander. Once again met by Sean Cuddy in that Ireland goal.
Well played by Ireland. Well played.
Huge credit to this side.
They're not being overwhelmed by England at all.
No.
They're holding their own. They're attacking well. They're passing well. Just haven't got that finished product yet.
No, and if you're Northern Ireland or Scotland and you're watching this game, there's definite positives to take. There's definite blueprints to try and adopt to frustrate this England side.
Well played, Crowley. Well played. Very patient, very determined. He didn't want to lose the ball, and it paid off.
McLaughlin to Crowley. Tries to squeeze it through to Gorman. Really frustrating. That would have been a real chance if it didn't just take the nick off an England chair.
I thought that was a corner. But we aren't the officials.
Tom Kelly finds Alexander, intercepted by Lucas Gorman. Still there, very close to them Irish players, and rightfully so. A 2-on-1 infringement has been awarded in England's favour as we approach these final few minutes in this Ireland. Goals of the game from Lewis Harris early in the first half, and then a second from Kyle Alexander. Intercepted by Crowley. Going to try and put some pressure on Tom Kelly, and he's given the opportunity there for Ireland. Oh, really unfortunate there. Matthew Crowley couldn't quite get the angle to see the ball over the line. But they'll take huge positives from the fact that they was very much nearly back in the game.
And that's happened a couple of times today, a bit of miscommunication between the back two players.
And I'm sure as a goalkeeper himself, a dynamic goalkeeper, Chris Gordon will want to talk to Tom Kelly and Greg Baxter at lunchtime.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Give them their instructions. Kelly. .40 remaining in this second half between England and Ireland in this EPFA Home Nations Cup, sanctioned by EPFA and supported by Power Soccer Shop. Another really good fixture. Join us for the fixtures this evening or afternoon between Northern Ireland and England. Both look to have a win under their belt as they face each other. And Ireland who face Scotland. And just like that, the full-time whistle blows. Fantastic display from both teams. England will want to work on a few different opportunities and tactics, but Ireland deserve full credit there. Special shout out to Dylan McLaughlin, who played superbly in that Ireland side.
Definitely did.
But if they can play against tournament favourites England, there's no reason why they can't be really competitive against Scotland and Northern Ireland, both today and tomorrow. But thank you all for joining us in this fixture between England and Ireland that finished 2-0. Join us shortly for Northern Ireland versus England.